Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Ryan's Reviews Things. This episode we'll be talking about phrases that don't quite make sense, and I'll get onto exactly what I mean later. But first, I want to explain why I'm talking about this. I've been playing a lot of this game you may or may not have heard of. It's called Fortnite. It's a third-person view game where you're not looking through the eyes of the player. You're looking through the eyes of someone watching your character that's moving. And it's a shooter game, which means you have guns and you shoot other people. And there are 100 other people, and you all shoot each other, and whoever's left standing wins. And I was thinking about the phrase, second place is the first loser, as I got second in a match. So I was thinking that that's not true, because I was actually the last person to lose, and I was going through my mind and wondering where in the world is that even true, because in anywhere, think of any competition, you know, a tournament, a chess tournament, a baseball game, any type of video game, the first person to lose is usually the person who got last, not the person who got second. And so before I sat down to make this, I decided to take a little research, and I learned that second place is the first loser was coined by Dale Earnhardt. If you don't know, he is was a race car driver. And apparently it's something they use in racing a lot, and when I thought back on it, I realized that, well, that makes sense, because the person who wins, he's the winner. He's the winner. Person who goes across second line, the finish line second, is the first person to have lost. But even still, as soon as that first person gets across the line, everyone else loses. It's not like, you actually lose, like the other people have a shot of not losing, because they've already lost. And of course, that a variable depending on what type of racing league you're into, like NASCAR or F1, where maybe even the places matter. But I was looking through, and I was thinking of other phrases like this, where people say them all the time, and how true are they really? And I couldn't find a good list. But I did find a list that was not very good, or at least the explanations behind it weren't very good. And I'll put this link in my description so that you'll find it, and you can go look along the list with me as I go through it. So this is a best life online is the name of the website, and the article name is 30 Common Sayings That Are Actually Terrible Advice, and the subtitle is actually You Should Cry Over Spilt Milk. I'll remember that next time. The number one they go through is Love is Blind, and they say, sure, you may gloss over a few of your new partner's flaws when you get together, but real love isn't blind, and it shouldn't be. Just because you see the flaws in another person doesn't mean you're not actually in love. I don't think that's what this phrase means. I think most people say love is blind. I understand. Oh, you don't. It's not that you don't see flaws in your significant other. It's that you don't recognize them or care about them in your significant other. It's like you're with your wife, and she is maybe, I don't know, she scratches herself in an inappropriate area. And it would bother a normal person, but it doesn't bother you because you love her, and everything she does is, for the most part, is something that you're okay with because you love her, and that's really more about what this is talking about, is looking past these flaws and being not literally blind to them, as in overlooking them, but more of not having it affect your relationship. Here's number 2. A burr in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. See, this commonly used phrase is generally understood to mean what you currently have is worth more than what you could get. And they say it's applicable in some situations. But here's the example they use as a counter-argument. No, it's probably not wise to leave your wife because a Victoria's Secret model just broke off her engagement. Well, of course not. That's not what the saying is saying. It's that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So it's saying that even if two Victoria's Secret models left their engagement and are now on the open market, that it would be just as equal as you being married, but that if, say, three Victoria's Secret models had just broken off their engagement, and that does not happen very often, three right in a row, then, yeah, that's like tripled the shot that you have of just one. That's what more of this phrase is talking about. You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, which is true. It is literally true. However, this phrase uses mean you can't create something good without some negative effects occurring. Sure. I guess sometimes. I always consider this phrase to mean that you have to work for what you're going for, and sometimes work is difficult, and maybe you have to get some wear and tear on that hammer so that you can build your house or chop down a tree or whatever. Not that you need to punch a woman in the face to get her pregnant or something. So number 4, don't count your chickens before they hatch. It's just saying that you shouldn't expect a positive outcome before it happens. The only argument they have is that it's pessimistic. I don't even think the phrase is pessimistic. I think it's more of a business phrase. As a farmer, you don't count your eggs as chickens until they're chickens. It's just smart, and people in the business, people do conduct business this way, and that's how fraud and mistakes happen. And there's a good Law and Order episode about it. I don't remember the season or the episode or many more of the details other than this man was committing fraud because he was counting all his transactions before they'd actually occurred. And he got a huge bonus from it. And he didn't want anyone to find out, so he killed someone. Number 5, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Can a weekend away from your significant other sometimes make you more appreciative when you return? Absolutely. However, this is not always true, considering how often long-distance relationships fail. Yeah, I guess this one's reasonable. Absence makes the heart grow fonder until it doesn't long for that anymore. At a certain point, it's not that you wish to see them; it's that you've gotten used to life without them. So there's no connection there that you need to have anymore. You've gotten used to it not being there. Number 6, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Which generally advises men against marrying women who will sleep with them first. You know what? If that's what this means, I can't give an opinion, so I'm just going to skip over it. No pain, no gain. Let's see here. Self-explanatory piece of wisdom is most commonly inspired by musclehood. Hard work yields positive results. While they're saying suffering doesn't have to be part of the package. But okay, hey, if you love working 9 hours just so you can 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, just so you can pay off your mortgage, if you force yourself to enjoy it, good for you. But I think that's where the no pain, no gain is coming from, and I think that's a good one, a good saying. 8, curiosity killed the cat. They're saying that it's not really smart advice because if you ask questions, that means you're a bad person, is what this is saying. But no, it's just saying that being too nosy, even when danger is afoot, is where you get yourself into trouble. Like a cat. Say a cat was sitting he wandered in a construction zone and he noticed a bucket of white paint on a girder 2 stories up, and he went to go check it out, and being a cat, he'd get himself up there, but then he slips and falls, and this just so happened to be his 9th life, so he does die for good, and all because he was a little too inquisitive, even though a cat really should understand its limitations. Don't cry over spilt milk. Let me see their argument against don't cry over spilled milk. Your feelings aren't worthwhile? Yeah, if you're crying over spilled milk, I don't know what to tell you. Every cloud has a silver lining. The nice way to look at bad situations with optimism. It's just not accurate. Sometimes bad things happen. I guess that's reasonable. But earlier they talked about how being optimistic is good and being pessimistic is bad. So I don't know exactly what they're talking about here. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. This is number 11, if you're not looking at the list but keeping track, though it may seem to make sense that a team would only be as strong as its weakest member. A leader is what makes it work. Okay, I can understand this, but if you think about it, if you're a chain, here's a chain. I'm holding the chain. I'm holding the chain, right? And I go like this, and the weakest chain is the one that snaps. It's not the little thing at the end that you use to loop the chain back on itself's fault that the weak chain broke. There are certain situations in which something like that could be true, but I think when it comes to employees, I think you should just fire the weakest one and then hire someone every 2 weeks. It is what it is. What's the use of trying? They're saying it means, what's the use of trying? Yeah. If that's what I mean, I guess that's kind of what this phrase is saying. But it's more like I guess that is terrible. There's nothing I can do about it right now. It is what it is until I fix it. I guess I get this one. Maybe this one has some merit to it. But at the same time, you don't say, "Oh yeah, I spilt milk all over my counter," but it is what it is. And then you walk away and don't clean up the milk on your counter when that's something you could do. It's more like, oh, a couple of planes flew into the World Trade Center. It is what it is. What am I supposed to do about that? Expose the government on an inside job? I don't think so. That's not really my cup of tea. Better late than never. Okay, listen, I absolutely hate being late, personally. But the phrase better late than never, I think is mostly true. I think it's very, very true. I can't think of a situation in which it's better to never have done something than to do it late. Their justification is that it's bad to be late, so that it's not better to be late than never. Well, that's just not true. It's just not true. What do you do? Yeah, in their examples, they talk about a loan. If I give you $500 and I expect it back in a week, and you give it back to me in 8 days, I'm sure I'm gonna be like, okay, I told a week, that's close enough, right? But they're saying that because it would have been better for him to give it to me on time, he should never do it at all. I don't know. The early bird catches the worm. No, this isn't true because birds eat vegetables. So I'm gonna skip this one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's see here. The expression is grace used for serious laziness. While flip phones may have been a fine way of communicating, if nobody had fixed things, then we'd never have a smartphone technology. In fact, trying to make existing inventions better, whether they're already broken or not, is how progress is made. Yeah, I think this one's reasonable, but I think it's more talking about, hey, this thing isn't wrong, so we shouldn't mess with it. We shouldn't progress society at all. I think not everyone is dead right now, so I think we should stop doing any progress at all, because it ain't broke. Only God can judge me is number 16. What is, are you saying everyone has every right to judge me? I mean, I think the phrase is saying that they don't. Whoever says this usually saying, I don't care what anyone else has to say about me. Only God has the ultimate decision and ultimate opinion of me, and He's the only one that matters. Usually, the people that say this though are like people that God would judge harshly. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna leave it at that. Whatever. Laughter is the best medicine. Oh, what are they? Oh, this is literally only true. Oh, I never heard of penicillin. Oh, very funny. Yeah, very good job. You debunked laughter. No one needs to laugh. Just take penicillin. 18. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. While this phrase advises against risking everything on a single opportunity, it makes sense if you're considering spending your nest egg on lottery tickets. It's hardly sage advice in general. Without taking a big risk, you'll never reap big rewards. Sure, but that's the whole point, is that don't take that big risk. Maybe it's not worth the big reward. Maybe smaller risks with smaller rewards and moderate risks with moderate rewards are the way to go. It's a warning that it's a big risk, and sure, there's a big reward at the end, but what if you trip and fall and then all the eggs go everywhere? Then, well, I guess you need to have cracked them to make an omelet. So I don't know. Never mind. Maybe you should put all your eggs in one basket. In fact, from now on, I'm only going to be buying eggs by the basket. If you can't beat them, join them. Yeah, this one's reasonable. This one is stupid. Just because you can't kill someone or beat them up does not mean you should join their gang. There's a common trope in video games is you'll beat someone up and they'll suddenly turn good, and in storytelling in general. And I think in general, the villains there should really stand up for themselves. I feel like the heroes are bullying them too much. I think that's something as a society we should learn to work around, is the main hero party bullying on the villains until they join their side. It's a little insensitive, I think. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Oh boy, where is their explanation on why this one's terrible? Because I'm pretty sure every time I've seen a fire, there's been smoke, and usually when there's smoke, it generally means that there's fire. Oh, they're saying what it means is that if there's a rumor, there's a grain of truth to it. Yeah, okay. That is usually true. Rumors usually come from somewhere, and jokes and all the like. I don't know. I can't, like, say you're in an office and you hear a rumor that little Jenny likes to have her toes cut clean off every night before she goes to bed, and that's what gets her off. And you go, oh my God, that can't be true. And in reality was someone learned that she had a foot fetish, and they had a terrible game of telephone. And so there's where the grain of truth was, that the toes and the feet are part of the same part of the body. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Though you may want to keep an eye on people who seem intent on doing you harm, there's no real reason for this, saying to dictate you into planning your life around paranoia. Most people aren't spending that much time thinking about how to outwit you. Sure. I mean, I think it's not saying that. Maybe it is trying to say this, but I don't think it's saying, yeah, you should spend every waking moment shunning your friends and eating ice cream with your enemies. It's more like you need to keep an eye out on the people who might harm you. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. What is this? However, may take this to mean that if there's no glaring error, then everything is fine. No, it's saying that sometimes you need to make the error apparent for something to get fixed. Like, if there's no way I can figure out something is wrong, and there's no way I can fix it. It's like, it's like with Congress. Beggars can't be choosers. If you think anybody that asks for a favor has to accept the bare minimum, you're probably not as generous as you think. That's not true. I literally, can you help me move? Sure, I'll only be there for I can help you for 10 minutes, but I got a really tight schedule tomorrow. It's like, oh, you might as well not show up then. How can you only help for 10 minutes? Like, well, shut up, you stupid jerk. I'm trying to help you move. right? I don't know. I get you're my ex-wife and all that, but I think just because we shared a house together for 13 years and we have 3 kids together doesn't mean you get to, oh, I'm moving away from you and living with my boyfriend now, just so that you can just figure out that, oh, I need, you can help me move. Oh no, I would hate to help you move, but I'm doing it out of courtesy. You just happen to pick a terrible day where I'm not available. Anyway, 24. It's always darkest before dawn. It's saying that when bad things happen, more bad things are usually on the way. Instead of what the saying would suggest is that the darkest things happen before the things that aren't as dark. I don't know. It's like the saying where, excuse me, things are always in the last place you look. Well, it's because it's the last place you look. If things are always darkest before the dawn, it's because they're always the darkest, and then if that's the darkest moment, then everything after that seems a little lighter. Leopard cannot change his spots, which means a person can't change their nature. It's true, people can change. Also, I think leopards, I think they can dye their hair, so they can, like, maybe not a leopard itself, but there are dyes I think they could use on their fur. Be true to yourself. Stand by your convictions. It's saying this means. What if your true self is horrible? Oh, you're right. You're right. What if I'm the jerk? Yeah. I'm the jerk. Okay, very funny. I don't know what am I supposed. Yeah, I'm supposed to lie and pretend I'm good. I'm a different person. I don't know. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Oh, that's true. Because if you have too many of them, like eventually there's some communication lost. And suddenly you've added 5 peppers too many, and the Prime Minister of Japan is sweating just before he goes and meets with President Eisenhower. If you've done something right, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, I think this is more of a, you can't trust people to do work that you know you and only you know how to do correctly. And I think that's what it is. And if you're the boss, sometimes that's true. It's saying that this phrase means whoever's saying it is not a team player, but I don't know. Sometimes people are stupid. Oh, here's a good one. 29. Money is the root of all evil. So they're saying, oh yes, money can complicate things. But claiming this money is the root of all problems in the world. You're right. Money isn't all the root of all evil. What is the root of all evil is having something and wanting to have something, and not having something and wanting to have something. Evil always exists. If someone has something and another person has a little less of that something, that's where it always comes from. That good things come for those who wait. That's true. This one time I waited at a bus stop for about 20 minutes, and all that came was a bus, and it was 10 minutes late. So that wasn't good at all, was it? All right. Yeah, so that's the list. I just wanted to, I found this list and I thought it was stupid, and I wanted to review it. So I give this list, oh, you know what, before I give my final verdict, I should mention we have a sponsor today. Today's sponsor is Tyson brand chicken. High quality chicken with low quality prices, no antibiotics, and they always have humane holding facilities. That's what they told me to say. It tastes pretty good. I must say, and I just, you know, I gotta say, if I should go off script here, I just gotta say that, like I like Tyson and all that, but like the dinosaur shaped nuggets, like personally as an egg enthusiast, I find it a little, your dino shaped nuggets it's an absolute insult to the modern day chicken's evolution. It's taken millions and millions of years for chickens to get where they are today, and you mock them by not only killing them and you know, you're killing a chicken. That's a little crazy, but you're molding them into their ancestors' shape. It's like, it's whatever shape you want. You could throw them anywhere, but you know, But it doesn't. You could choose any shape, but you don't choose any shape. You choose the dinosaur. Gee, it's like it's like you want me to go down your office. And I don't know. I don't know if I stormed the office for some side, something that maybe could do some bodily harm. Then I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's just yeah. Tyson's chicken nuggets. Yeah, good for your health, good for your soul. Tyson chicken nuggets. So my final verdict on the list. This list is I'm gonna give it 2 out of 30 phrases in general, or trying to debunk phrases, I should say. 2 out of 30 on that. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you care enough. Remember to comment down below to mention things that maybe you want me to review in the future. I will like to read the comments just to get ideas, and I have a lot of ideas myself, but it's always good to get a nice fresh brain on things. So, thank you all. I hope you all have a nice rest of your day.